take the vector z equals 1. Let's compute its length squared the usual way. By taking z transpose times z, that gives 1 times 1 plus I times I, which is 1 plus negative 1, equals 0. So we have a non-zero vector with 0 length. Something is broken. Complex vectors are optional. Even matrices with real entries can have complex eigenvalues and eigenvectors, so we must be ready to work in complex space. The fix is the complex conjugate, written z bar, which flips the sign of every imaginary part. For z equal to the vector 1, I, the conjugate z bar, is 1, negative I. Now compute z bar transpose times z. That gives 1 times 1 plus negative I times I. Since negative I times I equals negative I squared, which is positive 1, we get 1 plus 1 equals 2. The length is the square root of 2, real, positive, and sensible. This combination, transpose first and then conjugate every entry, is called the conjugate transpose. We write it as A with a superscript H, and we read it as a Hermitian, named for the French mathematician Charles Hermite. To apply H to a matrix, we work in 2 steps. First, flip the rows and columns, that's the transpose. Then put a bar over each entry, that's the conjugate. For a vector, H turns a column into a row, and conjugates each component along the way. From now on, the rule is simple. Wherever you would have written transpose in the real case, write H in the complex case. That single substitution rebuilds the entire framework of linear algebra for complex numbers. The H operation is the true transpose for complex linear algebra. Let's see the general length squared formula. The norm of z squared equals z Hermitian times z, which expands to the modulus of z1 squared plus the modulus of z2 squared, all the way out to the modulus of zn squared. Why does this work? Each term is a complex number times its own conjugate. For any complex number, conjugate times itself gives the modulus squared, which is always real and greater than or equal to 0. So the norm is guaranteed to be a sensible, non-negative real number. Inner products follow the very same rule. The inner product of x and y is y Hermitian times x, which equals y1 bar times x1 plus y2 bar times x2, and so on through yn bar times xn. The guiding principle could not be simpler. Whenever you transpose, you must also conjugate. Now let's generalize symmetry. In the real case, a matrix is symmetric when A transpose equals A. The complex analog uses the conjugate transpose. A Hermitian matrix satisfies A with superscript H equals A. Let's see this with an example. Take A to be the 2 by 2 matrix whose first row is 2 and 3 plus I, and whose second row is 3 minus I and 5. First, transpose it by swapping rows and columns. The new first row becomes 2 and 3 minus I, and the new second row becomes 3 plus I and 5. Now conjugate every entry. The 2 stays 2, 3 minus I becomes 3 plus I, 3 plus I becomes 3 minus I, and the 5 stays 5. Look what happened. We recovered the original matrix A, so A Hermitian equals A. Now look at the structure of this matrix. The diagonal entries, 2 and 5, are real numbers. They have to be real, because a Hermitian matrix requires each diagonal entry to equal its own conjugate. The off-diagonal entries, 3 plus I and 3 minus I, are complex conjugates of each other. That's the Hermitian pattern. Real on the diagonal, conjugate pairs across the diagonal. These structural rules are forced by the equation. A Hermitian equals A. Each diagonal entry must equal its own conjugate, and only real numbers satisfy that condition. Each off-diagonal entry must equal the conjugate of its mirror partner across the diagonal. Now, for the reward, Hermitian matrices inherit everything that made real symmetric matrices so powerful. First, their eigenvalues are always real, never complex. Second, their eigenvectors corresponding to distinct eigenvalues are orthogonal under the Hermitian inner product. Third, the spectral theorem survives intact. This is precisely why Hermitian matrices appear throughout quantum mechanics. Physical observables are required to be Hermitian because their measured values, which are the eigenvalues, must be real numbers. Next, let's generalize orthogonality. A real matrix is called orthogonal when Q transpose times Q equals the identity. The complex analog is the unitary matrix. Q satisfies QH times Q equals I, where H is the conjugate transpose. What this means concretely is that the columns of Q form an orthonormal set under the complex inner product. Each column has length 1, that is Q sub I H times Q sub I equals 1. And any two distinct columns are orthogonal, meaning Q sub I H times Q sub J equals 0 when I is not equal to J. Notice we use H here, not just transpose. This matters. Q transpose times Q would not equal the identity for a complex Q in general. The conjugation built into H is what makes the lengths come out as real positive numbers. The payoff is beautiful. Q inverse equals QH. Inverting a unitary matrix is as cheap as taking its conjugate transpose. No Gaussian elimination needed. Let's verify with an example. Let Q equal 1 over square root of 2 times the matrix with rows 1, I and I1. We want to compute Q Hermitian. First, transpose. The rows become 1, I and I1. But notice this matrix is symmetric, so transposing leaves it unchanged. Now conjugate every entry, I becomes negative I. So Q Hermitian is 1 over square root of 2 times the matrix with rows 1, negative I and the negative I, 1. Now multiply Q Hermitian times Q. For the 1, 1 entry, we get 1 over 2 times the quantity, 1 times 1 plus negative I times I, which is 1 over 2 times 1 plus 1, equals 1. For the 1, 2 entry, we get 1 over 2 times the quantity 1 times I plus negative I times 1, which is 1 over 2 times 0 equals 0. By symmetry, the remaining entries give 0 and 1. The product is the identity matrix, so Q is unitary. The pattern is unified. Length X transpose X becomes the Hermitian Z. Inner product, Y transpose X becomes Y Hermitian X. Symmetric, where A transpose equals A becomes Hermitian, where A Hermitian equals A. Orthogonal, where Q transpose Q equals I becomes unitary, where Q Hermitian Q equals I. Replace T with H and the entire architecture of real linear algebra survives. This isn't a workaround, it's the correct definition. Hermitian operators model physical observables in quantum mechanics. Unitary matrices describe time evolution and rotations. The discrete Fourier transform matrix is unitary. The conjugate isn't a complication, it's the single ingredient that makes complex linear algebra work.